I'm here to save you from the 4 most common pricing mistakes I see sellers make. Mistakes that don't just slow down your sale, they quietly cost you credibility, your advantage, and in a declining market, thousands of dollars. Most of these mistakes sound very reasonable at first, but let's look at how they actually stack up against how the world actually works. The first one is, I only need one buyer. I hear this all the time. Tania, but I only need one buyer. Actually, no, you usually need more than that. To get one serious buyer who writes an offer, you typically need 6 to 10 showings. That means 6 to 10 buyers physically coming to see your home every 2 weeks. Why is that? Because it's very rare that the first buyer who walks in immediately writes an offer. Here's my simplest proof of that. When you bought your home, did you just look at one house? Did you write an offer on the first house that you saw? Probably not. You probably looked at 5 to 10, maybe 20 houses. Most buyers look at 6 to 10, sometimes 15 or more homes before they make a decision. Buyers don't just walk into a home and instantly write an offer unless they've already seen several homes. They know exactly what else their money can buy. And your home clearly stands out against the other homes that are for sale in the same price range. The second mistake is using general or outdated market information. Example, since I bought my house in 2016, the market is up 30%. Or my neighbor's house sold in 2022 for X, so mine should be worth more by now. This one sounds smart, but it ignores the basics. The basics as in a sale in 2022 happened under a different economy, happened under different interest rates, happened under different buyer urgency, different inventory levels, different emotional conditions, maybe different upgrades. Moreover, appreciation isn't evenly distributed. If the market went up 10%, it doesn't mean that every single house went up 10%. Some neighborhoods declined. Some gained value faster. Some stagnated. Some actually lost ground because the new home market is so competitive right now, and sometimes it's a better buy. Buyers don't price homes based on what you paid, what your neighbor got years ago, or what the market did on average. They value homes based on what else can they get today for the same money. That's the standard you're being judged against, whether we like it or not. The third mistake is pricing maintenance like it's an upgrade. Let's play a quick game. I ask you a question and you answer silently and honestly. Is replacing a leaking or slipping roof an upgrade or maintenance? The correct answer is maintenance. Another example question. Installing a new basic set of toilets, is that an upgrade or maintenance? The correct answer is maintenance. How about buying a new air conditioning unit because yours died? Is that an upgrade or maintenance? The correct answer is maintenance. Here's the truth that can sometimes be hard to swallow. Maintenance protects your value, but upgrades create or increase your value. Buyers expect, at the bare minimum, that the air conditioning works, that toilets flush, that roofs don't leak. Those things don't earn you a premium. They prevent you from being labeled a fixer-upper. So a buyer will appreciate that you've kept up on the maintenance, but they won't overpay for them, especially if they can buy a competing home that already checks more boxes at a better price. And the last one, which is the big one, is pricing based on what you need to make. This is the hardest one and probably the most common. And it sounds like this. I need to walk away with X, so I will price it at X. And I get it. There's emotion there. There's planning there. Sometimes there's pressure. Sometimes there's things that need to get paid off. But the market, unfortunately, doesn't participate in that math. Let me give you an example, or let me ask you a question. When you buy your next home, are you going to pay the fair market value or the seller's dream price? Are you going to look at the recent sales and decide what it's worth, what you're willing to pay? Or are you going to ask the seller, what is the price or what is the amount that they want to make, and then pay that price? What you want or need to make is not always the same as what a home is worth. And if you, as a buyer, wouldn't pay somebody else's dream price, why do you think someone would do that for you? When a home is overpriced based on the seller's goals instead of the market value, buyers stop taking your listing seriously for two reasons. The home likely won't appraise, which means it can't be financed at that price. They have to come in with extra money, which they may not have. And buyers usually can get more house for the same money elsewhere. At that point, buyers don't negotiate, they don't submit offers, they just move on. In closing, I want to say that if you want buyers to be excited about your property, the price has to be right. The right pricing gives you advantage, credibility, and competition for your property. And competition is what improves the terms as well as your bottom line. The most expensive pricing mistake isn't the money that you think you're leaving on the table, it's starting in the wrong place. So if you'd like to talk about pricing your home, feel free to call, text, or email me at the information you see below. We'll see you next time.